I am Pastor Ira J. Ackley of the Greater St. John Bible Church here in Chicago, and I'm urging each and every one of you to support the Rainbow Push Coalition, July 15th through the 19th. We're calling upon ministers, labor, educational leaders. We need politicians. Let's support Push before we need help from Push. Call today, 773-FREEDOM. Get your tickets. God bless you.
Well, this is the Rainbow Push Coalition Saturday morning town hall, coming to you live from Chicago. Dr. King's workshop. Make some noise for the leadership and legacy of Reverend Jackson. We want to thank you for joining us. We want you to go to all of our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe to that channel right now and text the word PUSH to 41444. The push is on. I want you to receive the sounds of freedom.
Good morning, good morning. Come on, clap your hands all over the building. Yes, you even at home. Welcome to the Town Hall Forum. It's time to start our morning off the way we do every Saturday. Let's start it off with a little praise and worship. Are you ready? Come on, clap your hands, everybody. Come on. We're going to have a good time and gain some knowledge to help our world become better. So I need you to clap your hands because we have no reason to fear with God on our side. Here we go. Tell me who has the final say. Tell me who has the final say. And no matter what the doctors say, and no matter what the pills may say, come on everybody say, I have no reason to fear. Come on everybody say, I have no reason. The Lord is. The Lord is my life. That's it. Come on everybody say, the Lord is. The Lord is my life. Come on say, I have no reason to fear. Yeah. I have no reason. Come on everybody say, I have no reason to fear. I have no reason to fear. The Lord is. The Lord is my life. Say the Lord is my life. Yeah. The Lord is my life. Can I get everybody just to clap your hands right here? Come on, right here. Come on, clap your hands. A little more on the stage for us, please. Come on, everybody. Hey, yeah, yeah. Come on, everybody, clap your hands right here. Song says, tell me who has the final say. Jehovah has the final say. Tell me who has the final say. Jehovah has the final say. And no matter what the doctor says, Jehovah has the final say. And no matter what the bills may say, Jehovah has come on, final say I have no reason to fear. I have no reason to fear. No, the Lord is. Come on, everybody say the Lord is. Come on, everybody, clap your hands. I have no reason to fear. No, I have no reason to fear. For the Lord is. Come on, everybody, say the Lord is. Come on, Gerald, let's have a praise party. I have no reason to. I have no reason to fear. Say I have no reason to fear. I have no reason to fear. Let's go. Say I have no reason. Hey, the Lord is working with me. Hey, the Lord is working with you. Hey, you've got no reason to fear because he's by your side. Everybody clap your hands.
Well, this is the Saturday morning town hall at the Rainbow Push Coalition here in Chicago. Make some noise for Reverend Jackson, everybody. I want you to go to our website, www.rainbowpush.org, and become involved, engaged, and make sure you enlist to be a part of the fastest growing social justice army on the planet. Somebody say the push is on. Say it one more time, the push is on. You know, those of you that are watching on all of our various platforms and those of you in person, Reverend Jackson has been working for many years on behalf of black farmers, and this week a $2.2 billion relief initiative for black farmers was released to make sure that farmers who need immediate assistance, that's the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson, clap your hands, so that black farmers who applied for loans, applied for resources and support, and it was discovered a legacy pattern and practice of racism and discrimination that blocked these farmers, and now black farmers are now going to get their just due. Thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson, for your hard work and not taking no for an answer. There is a winner in Chicago. One of the hallmarks of Reverend Jackson's work is being there for the downtrodden, being there for those who have been abused and maltreated. And in New York, you remember the Central Park Five. It was Reverend Jesse Jackson that stood along with Reverend Al Sharpton to fight for their exoneration and their innocence. And Yusef Salaam, one of the Central Park Five, is now a new councilman in the city of New York. Overwhelmingly in that primary, Salaam campaigned in Central Harlem and across New York, and as of today, he is a winner. Let's give the winner a round of applause. We've been fighting each and every day as it relates to education, as it relates to labor, as it relates to criminal justice reform, and as it relates to health care. And we know that the algorithms that determine payment and determine care and determine where hospitals are built and where mental health clinics are built, we've known for many years that those algorithms have been skewed and misused by researchers and policymakers. And we want to thank the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation for putting $10 million investing in the research to right this wrong so that communities of color can get the care and resources and services they deserve. You know, as we approach the 57th anniversary of our international convention here in Chicago, the Rainbow Push Convention, the perilous journey from freedom to equality, it's been Reverend Jackson's hallmark. His work, his fingerprint and footprint spans the globe in terms of his work and his endeavors to make this a much more perfect union. And July 15th to the 19th, which is just right around the corner, right here in Chicago, the greatest civil rights convention ever is going to be held here, and it's highlighting the work of Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition. You know, as we do this, you can go to our website right now, www.rainbowpush.org, and you can hit the convention tab or go to Eventbrite and look up Rainbow Push, the Rainbow Push Coalition. And July 15th, right here, is the 84-88 campaign reunion. It's going to be right here in this room, everybody. People from all over the country are coming from those two dramatic, impactful campaigns that launched Reverend Jackson into the political arena, and it changed the landscape of democracy right here in Chicago and around the world as Reverend Jackson stood on the floor of the DNC to declare that America is good and can be better for everybody. Thank you, Reverend Jackson, for your hard work. Thank you for your toil and your labor. And it's so important that you register for this convention. It's only $35 for you to register for this convention, and I want to make sure that you do your part to support what we're doing. On that Saturday, we're going to be talking about immigrants, we're going to be talking about education, we're going to talk about labor. That night, we'll have an incredible viewing of Save the Children, an impactful movie that really was a part of highlighting Reverend Jackson's work and transitioning from Operation Breadbasket to Operation Push to the Rainbow Push Coalition, and you want to see it. And we're going to be honoring Jerry Butler and Ramsey Lewis that night. That Sunday is the Dr. Clay Evans Gospel Concert, and we'll be talking momentarily about all the artists. And Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday is our convention flow, as we'll be focusing on Monday with internationals, and we'll be focusing on Tuesday business, faith, and labor. And of course, we'll close out on Wednesday with the most phenomenal women's luncheon, International Women's Luncheon, as a part of our international convention. As the Sounds of Freedom get ready to come back, I want you to prepare after them to hear from our leader and our founder, the president of the Rainbow Push Coalition, Reverend Lewis Jackson. Receive the Sounds of Freedom.
Come on, clap your hands, everybody, one more time as we celebrate our leaders, as we get ready for a wonderful convention that's about to take place. Today, we want to just offer up some thanks and some praise to the one who created us all, the person who got us to this place, the person that's going to see us through. We want to tell God thank you for all that He's done for us. Can we do it together? I know you know it. Come on, help us sing. I just want to say, I just want to praise forever, and ever, and ever, for all. Come on, clap your hands, everybody. All you've done. All He's done. Come on, has He done anything for anybody? Come on, clap your hands, everybody. Sing blessings and glory and honor. They all belong to you. Thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. Come on, everybody, let's sing it together. Take it. Said I just want to praise you, just want to praise forever, and ever, and ever. Come on, say, for all you've done for me. Has He done great things for anybody? Come on, help us testify. Even you at home, sing blessings and glory and honor. They all belong to you. Come on, say thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. Come on, Gerald, take us higher. Come on, lift your voice and say, I just want to thank you. Hey, forever, and ever, and ever, for all you've done for me. He's done so much. I gotta lift my hands and tell Him blessings and glory and honor. They all belong to you. Come on, everybody say, thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. Come on, Gerald, take us higher. Everybody lift your voice and say, hey, just wanna forever, and ever, and ever, for all you've done for me. Come on, I need you to help me. Put your hands together. Hey, we're gonna lift our voice and sing blessings and glory and honor. They all, yes they do. Thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. I think we can go a little higher. Everybody lift your voice and say, that's it, come on, clap your hands. Forever and ever, for all you've done for me. Come on, clap your hands, everybody. Sing blessings and glory and honor. They all belong. Come on, sing it again. Blessings and glory and honor. They all. Come on, find your part. Say blessings and glory and honor and honor. They all belong to you. Blessings and glory and honor. They all. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. For blessing, for blessing me. Thank you, Lord, for blessing me.
Well, everybody, let's make some noise and celebrate our leader, the founder and president of the Rainbow Push Coalition, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson.
I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me, protect me, never neglect me. My mind is a pearl. I can learn anything in the world. Nothing is too hard for God. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop the violence. Save the children. Let me hear you scream. Express my delight that you're being here today. Those who are watching us on television live right now and listening to us on the radio. I want to say, first of all, our hearts go out for Bishop Grant, who lost his sister this week. When we lose a loved one close to us, there's nothing that can replace it. I only say I offer condolences. That's all you can offer. But he has been through it, and so give Bishop Grant a big hand, please. Put your hand together. Three things that are kind of pestering us right through here. One, the Supreme Court has made a decision to set us back. That much of that which we won in the South in the 60s, not being taken away again. So it means we got to fight again. Many of you took for granted our victories. We must keep on fighting. So keep on fighting. The Shelby hold the case. They took away the Voting Rights Act, the federally funded Voting Rights Act, for the States' Rights Act. It means that every state had the right to do its own scheme voting. It always had that until 1954. Here we are again with the states' rights determining voting again. This week, however, last week, the Supreme Court, some federal judges ruled in Louisiana, for example, that in other southern states, the gerrymander us out of districts. We may very well have 4 or 5 new seats coming up. In Louisiana, say Louisiana, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi. We could very well have 63 black congresspeople within a matter of months. Has God been good to us? Your hands together. God been good to us. And we tend to take these blessings for granted. We will not do that. There are no narrowly applied Supreme Court decisions. So the Supreme Court decisions on affirmative action really meant negative action for the rest of us. And it will not just apply to schools, it will apply to hospitals and healthcare, jobs, contracts, the whole 9 yards. So if you're not smart, you got to study harder. So if you're not smarter, study harder. We're more serious than ever before. Now, many of us are in the face of this. We'll have a running count of how many of us kill each other every week. That madness got to stop. Running count every week, we kill 2 here, 5 here. We got to stop the killing. Just stop the killing.
Stop the killing.
Stop the killing. So the affirmative action suit will be fought in the courts, in the streets. I want to go a bit about what we've done this week, which is very significant. One, Concordia Homes. I want to thank Brother Cameron Barnes for his work out there. Capital Real Estate was in charge of that project, a Jewish firm out of New York. You're going to buy properties and then take away the monies from them. This was to a black group to make it any better. So we went out there last Saturday, and there's mold from the floor to the roof. Toilets are unkept, unfit for human habitation. So we met with the leadership of that group. There were 4 different groups out there fighting in their own way, trying to get a hearing to courts, but they determined better we come together and work together. Say better together.
Better together.
Better together. So now they've decided they're going to come under the Rainbow Coalition again, and we're going to fight. We met with leadership yesterday of the union and the ownership of the project, and we intend to fight for residents at Concordia on 130th Street. We're out there again today, and almost every day this week, when Mrs. Secretary of HUD comes to town for our convention next Sunday, Marsha Fudge, she's going to make a statement about the housing project. People shouldn't have to live in squalor in Chicago in year 2013. Am I right about that, friends?
Yes, sir.
We're going to fight for the, and they have a sense of security. Reverend Brown from Maywood and Reverend Dr. Cameron Barnes are really working diligently on that project. So we will make it happen. Also, this week we began to pull together our construction wing of the Trade Bureau. There's nothing in Chicago we cannot build. There's nothing we cannot build.
Nothing we cannot build.
We began to deal with this thing back in the 60s. We had Bob Martin, a serious construction guy, and Charlie Moore, and Bush and Smith. And we began to build, first of all, they built on 47th and Calumet, built the chain store, National chain store. Then they began to build churches. They built the Covenants, and they built the church Ada White and those have on Stone Island. See, we can build anything.
We can build anything.
Matter of fact, in Barack's new center on Stone Island, the 3 major contractors came together. They're getting a white contractor sub with them. Suppose them getting the deal and we sub with them. So we can build anything, and we're going to do just that. The groups was plumbing, or whether it's plumbing, or whether it's any other kind of deal, carpentry, or painting. We can do all that stuff. And so we're going to have a major deal along that line. You'll hear more about it in the future. If you need anything built, we can build it. For example, President Biden said last week, came to town, that every house, every apartment building, every school has to have lead paint out. We can remove lead paint, but we have the capacity to remove it. And it affects what you breathe. See, what you breathe. It affects what you eat. The whole 9 yards. So we need you to be a part of that. The black contractor can build that. And so I want you to come on over here right now. I also want to talk about the convention a little bit, because we had a board meeting last week. I'm going to make a transition pretty soon. I've been doing this stuff for 64 years. I was 18 years old. And I'm going to get a new president for Rainbow Push Coalition. Or a new president, say a new president. I'm going to work along with the new president and our board. We're going to have a new president who will, in fact, be working here day to day. I want to see us grow and prosper. I think this idea about stop when you drop does not make sense. We have the ability to build on what we've established over the years, and so we're in a new president. I'm going to get a new president, and he'll be talking during the convention. You'll hear more about that later on, if not today, this weekend. I want those of you who are here to know about it. Now, on Friday night, we had a reception. Thanks to Betty Magnus. Thank you, Betty. A good job. And what we've done is that we've gotten delegates from the 84 convention, 425 delegates, 1,225 delegates from the 88 campaign. So what's normal about the 88 campaign is that, guess what? We raised $30 million and got 1,200 delegates. That never been heard of before. I mean, people raised $30 million on an automatic seat. We stayed in people's houses all down through Appalachia and in Watts, Harlem. We stayed in people's houses. The most efficient campaign ever. It only takes 2,200 delegates to win the whole convention. 1,200 delegates off of $30 million. And so we did quite well. One thing we did that had significance, we tried to lay the groundwork for the future. That was to end the scheme of one to take all. What that meant was if I get 800, if the state has 400 delegates, and I get, someone else gets 360, something like that. They get all the delegates, we get none. We changed that. You get the number of delegates applied to you. So following the 84 rules, we got 400 delegates. Following new rules, we got 1,200 delegates. President Barack Obama ran in 08, he ran in 08. Significance is his in the barbershop. The legacy we left for his campaign is that one, he could lose California, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey and New York, still win the number of delegates he did win. And the cumulative total was he won the whole thing. That was not true until we made it happen. Rule change in 1988. What that really means is that when we have the power, we change the rules. We have the power, we change the rules. Now, rule change is very important. Why we do so well on football, basketball, and baseball, whenever playing field is even, rules are public, goals are clear, referee is fair, score is transparent, can't inherit any points, we can win. In football, we know it's 100 by 50. In baseball, is 60 feet from the pitch mound to the plate, and 90 feet each base, and then you come home. So whenever the playing field is even, rules are public, everybody knows when you're safe or not safe. And scores, everybody knows what the score is. When the playing field is even, rules are public, score is fair, referee is fair, and score is transparent. You can't inherit any points. You can't get no points because your daddy hit a home run last year. You did your own home run tonight, right? So, and something of what it means to us is that we straighten out the rules. And he won fair and square. He won because, in part, we laid the groundwork for it, and we had the ability to sit right there with the white people and debate the issues of our time. But one night we were in New Hampshire, I shall never forget it. And the New Hampshire chairman walked in and said, Reverend, said, we know you've done a good job so far debating domestic issues, but now, tomorrow night we're going to discuss foreign policy. So you might not want to be a part of that. We wouldn't be. I said, I'm anxious to debate foreign policy. He said, what you know about foreign? I said, we came here on a foreign policy, importing Africa and exporting cotton. He said, oh. The fact is, when we laid the groundwork in '88, we proved nothing a blacks could not do. So we proved no argument we cannot engage in. We had the vision, and we had the faith, God has the power. So I want to thank, again, President Barack Obama. Give him a big hand. So we're proving that. So we want to come in next week with our delegates. And then on the afternoon, picnic and all that, around 5, we're going to have a dedication celebrating the life and works of Ramsey Lewis and that of Jerry Butler, still around town, put Jerry on back in here. And then at night, the film, Save the Children. If you've not seen the film, you got to see the film, Save the Children. So Save the Children. His film involves Roberta Flack and Cannonball Adderley and The Temptations, Michael Jackson. It's a big deal. Chicago film. It's going to get even more prizes this time around. On Sunday, we're going to have we expect to have President Biden here Sunday afternoon. In the meantime, if he doesn't come, we get Marsha Fudge, who heads the Department of Housing. We want her to see, because they want her to see the public housing project, how people have been jiving her and jiving the whole country. We're going to fight for affordable housing for our people. If you're on the affordable housing project right now, hold me push right now, 773-273-3366, 773-FREEDOM on your dial. Call right now. We're going to address the issue of public housing. If your house, the government is subsidizing it, call right now. We're going to send them out there to begin to address that issue in the real sense, okay? That night, we're going to have gospel singing. The choirs will really cover that night. Monday morning is International Day. We'll have people from Nigeria and from South Africa and from Angola and Nigeria and the like, and then from Latin America. People coming over here, that's a scheme by the business people to bring them over here, undercut our jobs. But then we shouldn't react to that, because people are in desperation. You got a scheme. On Canada, we trade with Canada. We boycott trade with South Central Latin America. The whole big issue with Cuba. Castro was tired of seeing men become pimps and women become prostitutes. He ran all of them out. And he turned pimps into doctors and lawyers. So when we fought them, Iran Contra, they were sending doctors across Latin America. We were sending guns. Yeah, and that's why they won the war. Doctors mean more than guns. I said doctors mean more than guns. Battles more than bullets. That happened in that part of the world. So on noontime that day, the breakfast that morning, we'll have our International Day breakfast and meeting that day. Noontime that day, Bishop, we're having Tuesday, Monday. urban development luncheon. We expect to have our new mayor address us at that time. The night we're going to have a major educational event for teachers and parents. We're convinced that a part of our problem in education is that we must have a renewed attitude about education. Our attitude has dropped off. That was a time when education meant a lot to us. Now we done got slick. Jackie's mother was 60 years old, always wanted an education. So she learned how to read and write around 60 years old. And she, with the paper, she'd look at words. Look at this word here. She'd go through the paper and all that. And what she did was, around 64, she got her degree at Nelson Junior Community College. Around 68, she got a degree from Hampton University. Then she got her master's around 70 years old. She had the will to learn. I don't care how nice the school it looks on the outside, but she has the will to learn on the inside, nothing will happen to you. We must learn again. Bishop, the mayor of Baltimore, young mayor, 38 years old, put forth the deal when we look at in Chicago. Age 17 and under, you'd be in the house by 10 o'clock at night. Why shouldn't you be in the house at 10 o'clock at night? Huh?
That's right, sir.
Well, 10 o'clock at night, matter of fact, you should be home studying. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Home studying. We believe we should take your child to school, meet your child's teacher, say take your child to school,
Take your child to school.
meet your child's teacher,
Meet your child's teacher.
exchange home numbers, exchange home numbers, take your child to school, exchange home numbers, turn the radio and TV off, 3 hours a night. People get your child's report card every 9 weeks. Now, y'all, that's old-fashioned stuff, but it works. Take your child to school.
Yes, sir.
Meet your child's teacher. Exchange home numbers. Turn the TV off 3 hours a night. Pick up your child's report card. Now that stuff works, and Jeanette has held that program down. Well, we thank you, Jeanette. Please give her a hand. Thank you very much. I don't care how much a teacher's prepared to teach, how new the school is, unless you have the will to learn, nothing's going to happen for you. We've lost the will to learn often. We focus more on being slick than learning in detail. So if you go to church, the church not in you, you just keep raising hell. The first dose of gospel music. We must have a will to learn.
Will to learn.
So a lot of folks on education tonight that back way. Now on Tuesday mornings, on Monday I'm getting the International Day Award from the Columbia. We work down to South America, and they're giving us an award on that day. So that's a big deal to us. We thank them for recognizing our work down to Columbia. Tuesday morning we're going to have what kind of breakfast is that, Bishop?
That's our faith leaders breakfast.
Faith leaders breakfast?
Our faith leaders lunches.
Business
breakfast Tuesday morning.
Business breakfast.
Business breakfast Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. And at noontime is the
Faith leaders lunch.
Faith leaders luncheon. Reverend Freddie Haynes speaks to us at that luncheon, right?
Yes, sir.
On noontime on that day.
Yes, sir.
The night we'll have a labor luncheon, a labor dinner.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me say, y'all, we have won the last several mayor's lessons. Blacks are about 25-30% in Chicago, 3% of trade unions. We get our share of trade union contracts and trade union jobs. One of the things we have, not too many kids unemployed, don't have skilled trades. Many of them in jail today. They should be in jail learning a trade. Come out of jail, they should, in fact, be able to work, get a good job. We will put a lot of folks on trade skill training. Does it make sense to y'all? Now, Bishop,
Yes, sir.
on that night, that afternoon, we're going to have a labor dinner, and then that next morning we have our women's luncheon. Since these luncheon affairs, $150 a ticket, $1,500 a table. So I want you guys to be a part of that. Bishop, let me express my thanks to you today for the job you've done down through the years and certainly the last few months. So,
Let's give it up for Reverend Jackson. As Reverend Jackson has gone through and articulated our agenda and our schedule, there are several ways that you can support. Number one, today. Somebody say today. Say it one more time. Say today. You can become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition. It's $35, $15 for seniors and students. Those of you in person, there's an envelope on your table. I want you, if you're a member, I want you to make a contribution. If you're not a member, I want you to take a membership out today. But you can text the word PUSH to 41444 and become a member right now. But your membership and your contribution affords us to continue to do what we do every day somewhere around the world. Imagine the nation of Colombia giving Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson the highest civilian award. And that's because somewhere in the world right now, we're doing work. We're helping someone with benevolence. We're helping someone with job training. We're helping some student with a scholarship. We're helping someone save their home. We're helping someone save their business. And your contribution helps us do that each and every day. We bring this program to you on these various platforms, including the Word Network and WVON 1690. Let's thank Melody Span for allowing us to use this platform here in Chicago. But your contribution is just a token. It's just a small investment to a bigger proposition of keeping hope alive. And so I'm asking you to do that. As the Sounds of Freedom get ready to come, I want to ask you to get ready to hear from Betty Magnus. Betty Magnus has done such a marvelous job. Oh my gosh. And she's going to talk about our reunion events and activities, and then Dr. Jeanette Wilson, who is our National Executive Director of Push Excel. Give her a round of applause as she's coming. You know, what we're doing for this convention, and you talk about 5 days of engagement, excitement, and involvement in civil rights right on the front line. We want to highlight some of the things that Reverend Jackson has talked about. And as the Sounds of Freedom get ready to come, I want us to take a moment, pause for the cause, and say happy birthday again to our very own Eunice Wingfall, 90 years young. Stand up, Mother Eunice. Come on, give it up to her. She says she's 90, but I don't believe it. And she don't act 90. And so I thank God for her. Of course, we're praying for our beloved sister, Winona Redmond, whose beloved mother passed. Put your hands together for Winona Redmond. She did a marvelous, magnificent job caring for her mother. And Winona, we want you to know we're in your corner 100%. John Mitchell was back this week, and we want to thank God for keeping and sustaining John Mitchell. Hey, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Receive the Sounds of Freedom.
Can I get y'all to clap your hands across the room, even at home? We decided to reach in the crates real quick and go back. Let's go back to a song that we all know, that all help us get through. We're talking about a happy day. Come on, clap your hands, everybody. Here we go. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. when Jesus was, when Jesus was, when Jesus was, when Jesus was, he washed my sins away. Oh, happy day. Oh, come on, that's it, clap it. Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy
Day. That's it. Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
When Jesus was.
Jesus was.
When Jesus was.
When Jesus
Come on, clap your hands, everybody. When Jesus was.
Jesus was.
He washed my sins away.
Oh, happy day.
That's it. Come on, everybody. Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy
Tell me. He taught me how to watch, fight and pray. Come on, say it. Fight and pray. That's it. Come on. And live. And live rejoicing. Every day. Every day. Come on, I need you to clap your hands with us. Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
Come on, everybody. Oh, happy day.
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 Come on, everybody, lift your voice and say, oh, happy.
Oh, happy day.
Oh, it was a happy day. Come on. He washed my sins away, y'all. Taught me how to watch and pray. Oh, 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 happy day. Oh, happy day.
Well, it's a happy day at Rainbow Push. Put your hands together. I said it's a happy day at Rainbow Push. Betty Magnus has been organizing, mobilizing, galvanizing people on Zoom calls, on conference calls, on television, on radio, on whatever she can tell on. Our reunion is going to kick off this year's international convention. Put your hands together for the one and only Betty Magnus.
Thank you, Bishop. Good morning, Rainbow Push family. I just want to start out by thanking Reverend Jackson for giving me the opportunity to have been the Midwest Regional Director for the Jesse Jackson 88 campaign. That was a momentous campaign. He did marvelous things. He got almost 7 million votes. We knew nothing about how to do a convention when we started, but Reverend Jackson said we could. This coming Saturday, we have people coming from California, Texas, Iowa, Michigan, Oregon, Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Carolina, Georgia, New York, New Jersey, Ohio, and South Africa that are coming, that were part of the 88 campaign. I'm not naming names because we're trying to surprise Reverend, which is one of the hardest things to do in the world, but we're gonna try. So Friday night, we're starting off with the reception hosted by Reverend and Mrs. Jackson, and people will be coming in starting Friday, and they'll be here all weekend. If you were a part of that campaign, we have a special bundle package that you can get for $100. You get your registration for the convention, the reception for Friday night, the breakfast on Saturday morning, and a box lunch on Saturday afternoon. So after the reception on Friday, Saturday morning, we have a breakfast that starts at 8 o'clock. We have former delegates and staff members who are going to share some of their memorable stories from the 88 and 84 campaign. Then we'll go to the broadcast, and we will come back up here for lunch Following lunch, we're going to have what we are calling our legacy panel. That is a discussion with Del Marie Cobb, Gregory Moore from Ohio, Jim Zogby from Washington, D.C., and Bob Borsage, and it's going to be moderated by our own Janice Mathis, who is now the Executive Director of National Council of Negro Women. All of these people started out with Reverend Jackson and Rainbow Push or Operation Breadbasket. Following the lunch and the legacy panel, this whole reunion is built around Reverend Jackson's campaigns for president. Eddie Wong from California, Heather Booth from DC, and myself have been a committee that put together this entire event. We've reached out all over the country and told everyone we wanted them to come here to give a special tribute to Reverend for his efforts as a presidential candidate. We would not have had Barack Obama had it not been for Reverend Jesse Jackson. So coming in, just to name a few, Terry O'Neill, from the former national president of NOW, National Organization of Women, John Nichols from the Nation magazine, our own Mignon Moore from Washington, D.C., Jim Hightower, Congressman Jamie Raskin, and a bunch more are coming in. I'm not naming everybody's name because we want to surprise you, Reverend. We want you to be happy, but we want you to know how people feel about you, and they're taking time from their busy schedules to come in to Chicago. So we expect this to be a really big to-do, so to speak. Following the tribute, we will have what we're calling in memoriam. Reverend Otis Moss has done a video to introduce the memoriam, and we will highlight people who were a part: Frank Watkins, Kevin Gray, Steve Cobble, Emma Chappelle, just to name a few that we're going to be highlighting. Our own Gary Massoni, who was with Reverend from the very beginning. So that we will do a scroll, which you will be able to see. Those people who are not able to come in will see it by YouTube or Rainbow Push's Facebook page. But we want you to register for our convention. If you were part of the campaign, 84 or 88, please get the bundle, which covers you for everything. And we look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much.
One more time for Betty Magnus, everybody. Now listen, as Reverend Jeanette Wilson gets ready to come, this is such a magnificent opportunity for you to be a part of the movement right now. And she talks about all of those various personalities, the individuals who will be coming to Chicago. Those of you right here in Chicago, all you've got to do is show up here at 930 East 50th Street, Dr. King's workshop. Now listen, I know there's an envelope on your table. I know there's a QR code on your screen, and there's several ways that you can give on your mobile device. I want to make sure that you do that, and if you have that envelope ready while you're here in person, lift that envelope and one of our great staff members will come and get it. I want the National Executive Director of Push Excel to come now, Reverend Jeanette Wilson. Receive her now.
Give Bishop Grant a round of applause. And listen, Betty Magnus is so excited. If you haven't done anything else, you need to register for the reunion this Saturday. Get your $100 ready and sign up. You don't want to miss that. And then those of you who say, well, I don't have $100, you need to get your $35 ready for the Saturday that's coming, because we're going to talk about affirmative action. We have a whole body of students who will be here next Saturday to look at the 2 Supreme Court cases on affirmative action and student loan debt. Well, we don't want to limit it to just students, because some of you who are parents, you have debt that you haven't been able to retire while you were graduating from various colleges and universities, as well as trade schools. So if you have any student loan debt, you need to be here next Saturday, because we're going to talk about what is our call to action. What are we going to do about the debt? What are we going to do about affirmative action? How do we respond? So you want to be here. We want to engage with you next Saturday. You need to be here at 9 o'clock as we get ready to go into the broadcast at 10 o'clock. And then in the afternoon, we will have interactive conversations about student loan debt and affirmative action. And the only thing that Reverend didn't mention as he went through the entire convention is the close of the convention. Women, we have the power to change the world. We give birth to the world. And so we want you to join us at the International Women's Luncheon, which will be at the Operating Engineers Facility on 22nd Street. Why are we there? Because we did not want to put all of our money into hotels. So we want to save some money, but also want to expand our reach and want you to be included. We're going to have a presentation of young or women authors. Many of them you may have heard about. As they're banning books, we're going to encourage you to buy books and read our positions from women about a multiplicity of things, whether it's religion, business, education. We're going to have samples of the books, a list of books that you should be reading, and we will be launching a monthly book club from Push Excel. We want to encourage the adults, the children, everybody to read and get informed and get inspired. So how many of you have not registered? If you've not registered for the convention, it's only $35. That gives you a membership and access to all of the sessions. There are a number of conversations and things that you want to be involved in. We need you to register. Pastors, we need you to get your table for the clergy luncheon. Table is $1,500, and you got a double header, so you want to not miss that. Every meal function is $1,500 to pay for the food and then to make sure that we can continue all of this programming that Reverend has got us engaged in. We have a summer STEM program. If you have children, bring them next Saturday because they will learn and see the robotics. They will learn about iRacing. They will learn about different sports. They will learn about digital media. They will learn about photography. They will learn about performing arts. They will see our oratorical scholars and enroll them in the oratorical program. Whatever the schools are not doing, we have an after-school program that will continue 3 days in the summer, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then every Saturday only during the fall. It's Saturday school. We want our young people to understand civics, understand economics, financial literacy. We're going to put a special focus on financial literacy all summer long. If the children learn to budget, they're going to ask their parents, why don't we budget at home? If the children learn to invest, they're going to ask their parents, why don't we own stock and investments? So we want to start with the children. Parents, we'll have some financial classes for you as well. We're going to have job training because the world has changed. Everything we do has a technological impact. So we're teaching technology to the children, but also we're going to have it available for parents so that you can get the jobs of the present and the future. And I'm going to stop because Reverend Anderson is fan and he must be getting warm in here.
You know, this convention, give it up for Reverend Jeanette Wilson. This convention is so important and it's so much of an imperative for you to be involved. You can go to www.rainbowpush.org and click that convention tab and you can register. We've got Secretary of Housing and Urban Development on that Saturday, Secretary Marcia Fudge. She's over all housing in America. Give it up for Secretary Fudge. We got Congressman Jonathan Jackson, the 1st Congressional District in Illinois, and Congresswoman Omar from Minnesota on Monday. We got delegations coming from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Guatemala, from Colombia, from the United Kingdom. They're coming from everywhere. That that Tuesday, that business breakfast, we're doing a highlight of Ballet's, a multi-million-dollar construction project here. We're highlighting the Obama Library Construction Corps, 4 African-American general contracting firms that are running the largest library project in the United States. And then our very own, the newly elected mayor of the city of Chicago, Reverend Jackson, will be a part of our luncheon on that Tuesday. Labor leaders on Tuesday night, and then as Reverend Wilson has articulated, our women's luncheon on Wednesday. This is a time that we must be responsive and responsible in how we react to what has happened to us thus far. These recent Supreme Court decisions on affirmative action and on student loan debt, imagine 40 million people are up under $2 trillion of debt generationally. Some people, when their child unfortunately dies, the lender passes the burden of the debt on to the living family members. And they come after housing, they come after your credit report, they come after your investments, all for their profit and their gains. Thank you, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, for fighting for students. In spite of what the unemployment rate is, there's still too many black and brown people left out of the American economy. And so when we talk about labor, and we talk about fair wages, and we talk about benefits and resources and contracts, nobody has fought more than Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson for labor. 400,000 black businesses lost in the past 36 months. And the debt just keeps rising. It talks about black car dealerships, black entrepreneurs. When you look at a strike in Hollywood, it's Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson that fought for black producers and black writers and black actors to have diversity, equity, and inclusion. When you look at the landscape of politics, from Eric Adams to Brandon Johnson, across this country, it wasn't just run, Jesse, run, but it was others who were able to run after Jesse ran to get into the office they got into, and they wouldn't have been able to do it. Y'all, this is a big deal to have this living legend in this room, in this time, in this hour. You ought to make some noise. This is a really big deal. And so this year's convention is about a family gathering. Bringing the reunion together is a family gathering. Bringing the civil rights community together is a family gathering. Bringing entrepreneurs together is a family gathering. Bringing women and students and youth together, it's a family gathering. And I've found out every time we get together, something major happens. Y'all didn't hear what I just said. Every time we get together, something major happens. And there's something about the power of people who are on one accord that God just cannot deny. I said there's something about the power of people gathering. I think Betty, over at the Fellowship Baptist, I think y'all say something like, whenever 2 or 3 are gathered together, touching and agreeing, he promises to be in the midst. The Bible talks about, Reverend Anderson, a group of folk getting all the way into the middle of nowhere. 5,000 of them, I think it's in the text, 5,000 of them get all the way in the middle of nowhere, and somebody forgets to bring some bread, some fish, some water, and something to sustain them while they're following their leader. Well, this convention is about meeting of the people, meeting the needs of people who are determined to go forward and not go backward. If this was Sunday morning, somebody would already be shouting, because there's something that happens when they bring the bread. When they bring the bread to Jesus, 2 things happen. He breaks the bread and then he blesses the bread. And that's what this convention ought to be about. It ought to be about people who are benefited. There ought to be people who got jobs, people who got houses, people who got scholarships, who come and say, Reverend Jesse Jackson, thank you for making sure I was able to make it to the other side. Thank you for making sure that I was able to keep my house. Thank you for making sure I was able to keep my scholarship. Thank you for helping me get insurance. Thank you for helping me get a contract. Thank you for helping me get promoted. Thank you for helping me keep my mind. When I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he's done for me, my soul cries out, hallelujah. I wish I had some blessed people. I wish I had some happy people. I wish I had some anointed people. I wish I had some freedom fighters that know when praises go up, blessings will come down. Look at somebody and tell them the Lord will take care of you. Tell one more person, the Lord will take care. Don't mess with me, it's Saturday. I gotta wait until tomorrow. The Lord will. I said the Lord will. I said the Lord will. When everybody else puts you down, the Lord will. You ought to clap your hands. There's a storm out on the ocean and it's moving this old way. If your soul not anchored in Jesus, it will surely drift away. Come on, everybody. There's a storm out on the ocean and it's moving this old way. If your soul not anchored in Jesus, it will surely drift away. This is what Mama say. Drift away, drift away. It will surely drift away. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, it will surely drift away. Drift away. Drift away. Drift away. You will surely drift away. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, it will surely drift away. Clap your hands. Jesus, I'll never forget what you done for me. Jesus, I'll never forget how you set me free. Jesus, I'll never forget how you brought me out. Come on. Jesus, I'll never forget. No, never. Well, how can I forget what you done for me? How can I forget how you set me free? How can I forget how you brought me out? How can I forget? No, never. There's power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Clap your hands, everybody.
Bishop, turn to get out up in here. We're grateful to God for Bishop. Power singing and preaching. Another big hand for Bishop. Now, we have a lot of work to do. Laverne, tell a little bit about the construction.
Let's receive Laverne Hall, who's coordinating our Push International Trade Bureau as she comes. What an incredible encounter yesterday with construction workers, laborers, entrepreneurs, and she's just getting started. Give it up for Laverne Hall when she comes.
Good morning, good morning. So I have been working with the Reverend. We are in the process of rejuvenizing our trade bureau. And what we are doing is putting together a strategy that we're going to take to the mayor, that he can add to his recommendations that he's putting out on his transition team on how he can achieve equity on city contracts. We've got a really good strategy on how he can I won't say buck the system, but how he can do some things differently. It's our understanding that he's assigned a couple of aldermen, I want to say Alderman Mitz, to head up contractor equity program. And we want to work with her on really addressing how they can find more contractors and how they can get more contractors into the system. But what's great about it is that we've decided to really build what we're going to call a capacity building program, because we understand that there's a lot of resources that these Black contractors are going to need in order to be able to really be successful on these city projects. So we're going to put together a program that puts all that together, and then we're also going to identify a way to where as you can find contractors. When you're looking for them, you don't have to know somebody to know somebody, okay? You basically can go to one spot, and if you're looking for a Black roofer, you can find one. If you're looking for whatever, okay, they're out there, you can find one. So the Reverend is gonna put together a database that basically puts all of these contractors in one spot where everybody can go and find them. Okay, is that not a good idea? So we've been thinking about it, So we was thinking, and I was just telling Angie, Anna was coming in, you know how there's an Angie's list? Well, we want to put together Jesse's list, all right? So how's that? So we're going to work on doing that. And once we get it all together, we're going to present it to the mayor, and we want to take it a step further. And what we really want to do is be able to demonstrate, and we want to measure the economic impact that these contracts have on communities when Black businesses are included and involved. So we want to track how many jobs are created when these Black contractors are getting contracts. But not only how many jobs, but where the jobs being created, what the zip codes are for the individuals that are getting these jobs. We want to track how many contracts are coming in, but the dollar value of those contracts. And we want to track it over time. So in 2023, we're going to benchmark, here's where we are. But then once we've gotten that established, we're going to set a goal on here's what equity looks like. Here's where we should be. And then once we get there, we're going to come back and say, okay, over the 4 years, here's the return on the investment that you made in these Black businesses. Here's how many people got jobs. Here's where the jobs were created. Here's what happened. And then we'll be able to demonstrate that you get a return on that investment into Black businesses. So that's our game plan for the Trade Bureau. Going to get it started, and we're excited.
Laverne Hall.
Plumbing contractor in the city, Sister Hall, stand. She's a Black plumbing contractor. Shut up, Sister Hall. Yeah, give her a hand. Now, because we have to go out of this room, clean up the whole building this week and starting, well, right now, I want you to respond with some donations. You can give $100 or more, I want you to do it right now. $100 or less, you'll invest today, we're putting together. We're going to talk more about this in days to come. We'll be here next Saturday in the auditorium. And after that in the auditorium, we've been up here long enough, trying to mobilize the people. So now I want you, if you would give at least $100, raise your hand or stand. You give at least $100, stand right now. At least $100, please stand right now. Betty, you got a lot of money. Yeah, I see it. You give at least $100. Give $50 more. $50 more, please stand. $50 more, please stand. Sisters, thank you, Betty. Yeah, don't sit on me today, y'all. You $20 more, stand. Yeah. You give something, stand. Let's pray. Let's pray. Lord, we thank you so much. You woke us up today. You didn't have to wake us up. Some people didn't wake up today. You woke us up. We're glad about it. We have an organization, a mind to work. The staff, for those who volunteer, their soul salvation, make life better. We want to stop the killing among our children. We want to do better and be better. You can, if you will. There's nothing too hard for you now. With faith, you have the power. Lord, please see us through. Amen. Amen.
Give it up one more time for Reverend Jackson. Sister Tedra, we have some persons that want to